It's not hard to recall why the original Shrek film was loved by both adults and children alike. A compelling story and relatable characters certainly contribute to that, as does the added adult humor that's sprinkled in every 5 seconds.
Do you think maybe he's compensating for something?
But based on the discourse around this movie, I feel like it's a bit misrepresented. I'm not talking about the meme culture, I mean thematically. I think people forget what this movie really is about. But if we peel back the layers here, I believe we can really find what makes this character stick in the hearts of so many. Of course, there are a variety of themes here, as with any movie: finding love in unlikely places, friendship, and the fear of judgment. But most of these story beats can be threaded together. Shrek is a movie about loneliness. Shrek begins the movie alone, and based on what we see, he seems to enjoy it. Because, of course, being alone isn't all bad. He gets to do what he wants, be how he wants, and no one will judge him or say anything of it. He chases people away, and to be fair, they aren't exactly welcoming of him. It isn't until Donkey comes along, when Shrek is confronted with someone who doesn't judge him upon a first impression. This obviously is confusing to Shrek, and he allows Donkey to come to his house. Sort of.
Outside!
This is where we learn that Shrek will not only scare off anyone who won't like him, but he also blocks off anyone who would, which is an important distinction for his character. He demands Donkey stays outside, and spends what will be his last night alone before hordes of fairy tale creatures are dumped on his doorstep, forcing him to undertake a quest that would give him his peace and solitude again. Let's backtrack to this dinner scene, where Shrek seems contented, but there is a sad backing track, appropriately titled Eating Alone. It's a slow, introspective track that evokes a mood that is relaxing yet depressing at the same time. A kind of comfortable loneliness, just as Shrek is comfortable in his own isolation and solitude. This motif is only heard once more in the movie, in one of the most important scenes, where Shrek becomes defensive and finally opens up to Donkey. Up to this point, Shrek opts to metaphors and onions, rather than really finding the core of the issue, saying that things are more than they appear, or that he has layers. But in reality, these are excuses, meant to shift the blame of his problem entirely on that of everyone else.
Look, I'm not the one with the problem, okay? It's the world that seems to have a problem with me.
And this, I think, is where most of the analysis on Shrek's character ends.
They judge me before they even know me.
Shrek is right. He is being judged outwardly at every turn, from people who don't know the first thing about him. But, as Donkey points out,
when we met, I didn't think you was just a big, stupid, ugly ogre.
Yeah, I know.
the point isn't just the judgment, or that Shrek is just a tragic character who needs people to be more accepting of him. It's that Shrek himself is putting up walls of his own, refusing to let anybody in. He even says so himself, telling Donkey that he will put up a literal wall around his property when he returns home. Whenever Shrek is confronted with change or hardship, he retreats back into solitude, pushing other people away again, because that's what he does. That's what's comfortable. I think this is a surprisingly mature thing to put into a children's movie. It's obvious enough to the point where children will understand the message, but as an adult, it gives a little bit more. And Shrek isn't the only character who struggles with loneliness in this movie. We see other characters struggling with being alone, notably Fiona, who spends most of her time confined to a singular room inside a castle, holding out hope that someday not only will she be rescued, but that her nighttime curse will be lifted, and she can be loved. And Shrek opening up in this scene is actually the catalyst for Fiona, who is listening secretly and begins to treat him differently. Before this scene, she doesn't want much to do with him. She is angry and resentful at the fact that he isn't her Prince Charming. But when he begins to open up, even if it isn't directly to her, she relates to him. The message that the movie ultimately shows us, the lesson that both Shrek and Fiona learn at the end, is that not only is beauty not skin deep, which is the part that everybody remembers, but it's also the idea that if you don't tear down those walls, overcome your insecurities, and let people in, you'll never find friendship, love, or opportunity. Being alone can be great, but it always comes at a cost. Shrek 4 actually plays with this idea, essentially stripping away everything Shrek gains from the beginning. He discovers that wanting to be alone again isn't all that it's cracked up to be. And more than that, His life and choices shaped not only his own. These are the opportunities he would have lost had he not left his solitary life. But the worst part about loneliness is it's easy. It's the path of least resistance, and because of that, we justify it in our heads. Someone will always dislike you for one reason or another. In Shrek's case, it is probably true that most people would have been scared of him. Not everyone will love you, but somebody out there will, if you allow them to. And yes, it's true, opening up is hard. But what are you missing if you don't?